Why did it take 10 years for the US to capture bin Laden, while Saddam was caught in 8 months and Gaddafi in just 40 days? Was it because of his wealth? On the morning of September 11, 2001, two loud explosions shattered the peace of New York City. Two commercial planes crashed directly into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. These towering buildings suddenly collapsed, and countless people perished in the rubble. Shortly after, a third hijacked plane crashed into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense. The importance of this site cannot be overstated. The fourth plane, due to the passengers and #39 resistance, ultimately crashed in rural Pennsylvania. This was the shocking 9/11 event. According to incomplete statistics, over 3,000 people died in this incident, and more than 6,000 were injured, including 21 Chinese citizens. It was the most severe terrorist attack on American soil since World War II. The mastermind behind this atrocity was the infamous Saudi Arabian exile, and America, and #39's most wanted fugitive, Osama bin Laden. His personal assets exceeded $1 billion. Initially, he was an ally against the Soviet Union, but later turned against the US due to religious and political differences. In 1992, bin Laden killed US troops stationed at a hotel in Yemen. In 1993, he orchestrated the bombing of the World Trade Center. From 1995 to 1998, almost every year, he launched terrorist attacks against the US. After the 9/11 attacks in 2001, the US conducted a 10-year manhunt, spending vast amounts of resources, finally killing him in 2011. However, after bin Laden and #39's death, he left only $29 million for his family. External estimates suggest he had at least $1 billion unaccounted for. So, where did bin Laden and #39's wealth come from, and why did he turn to terrorism? Follow me in the next episode as we explore how the billionaire bin Laden became a terrorist. Born in 1957 in a wealthy family in Saudi Arabia, bin Laden and #39's father was a renowned construction contractor and a close friend of the Saudi king. Islamic law permits a man to have up to 4 wives in his lifetime, including the king. However, bin Laden and #39's father found a loophole. He kept his first 2 wives stable while constantly rotating the other 2 slots, eventually marrying 22 wives and fathering 52 children. He had a peculiar hobby of making his wives wear revealing clothes in public and having strangers rank them. Such behavior is considered unacceptable even in more liberal countries, let alone in Saudi Arabia, where women must wear veils and adhere to strict Islamic customs. Growing up with many siblings, bin Laden lacked fatherly love and sought spiritual fulfillment. He earned dual degrees in economics and business administration and worked as an engineer, owning companies worldwide. Without his father and #39's help, he amassed over $1 billion on his own. He also enjoyed horseback riding, mountain climbing, and watching Bruce Lee movies. Despite this, none of it filled the void in his heart. In 1979, when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, bin Laden found his calling to revive the Arab world. With his sharp mind and extraordinary eloquence, he attracted numerous followers and devoted all his time and money to establishing Al-Qaeda, fighting Soviet forces across the Middle East. During this period, he received considerable U.S. support, including covert arms supplies and professional military training. However, the U.S. had ulterior motives, aiming to replace the Soviet Union as the new power in the Middle East. Thus, bin Laden and #39's Al-Qaeda became a staunch enemy of the U.S. Where did bin Laden hide during the 10 years following 9/11? Follow me in the next episode as we discuss why it took the U.S. 10 years to capture him. After the 9th of November, the U.S. offered a huge bounty and used every modern surveillance technology to capture bin Laden. However, months passed with no success, and the U.S. couldn't, and #39 to even confirm if he was alive. The US government became desperate, invading Iraq on rumors he was there, then attacking Afghanistan when rumors placed him there. This brings us to the Taliban, an Afghan local group. Its leader, Omar, was not only bin Laden and #39's ally against the Soviets, but also his father-in-law. Ignoring these ties, the US bombarded Afghanistan and raised the bounty from $5 million to $50 million. Faced with overwhelming US military power, the Taliban quickly collapsed, forcing bin Laden to seek a new refuge. He changed his name and hid along the Pakistan border, living in seclusion. He avoided detection by never using electronic devices, communicating through modified recorders. He evaded capture for 10 years until May 2011, when he was finally found and killed by US Navy SEALs. Rumor has it his location was betrayed for the bounty. When US forces searched bin Laden and #39's hideout, they found a staggering number of CDs. This discovery sparked widespread discussion and questions about his lifestyle and values. The US intelligence agency concluded that bin Laden used adult films to convey messages, showcasing his cunning. On May 2, 2011, the world and #39's most wanted terrorist, Osama bin Laden, was buried at sea from the USS Carl Vinson. The US knew that burying him on land would make his grave a pilgrimage site for all Islamic terrorists. On the USS Carl Vinson, the US conducted a simple Islamic burial, then weighted his body and sank it to the ocean floor. Bin Laden and #39's death marked the end of America and #39's 10-year global war on terror. However, regardless of the reasons or methods, violence is never the best solution. If you like my video, please follow me. See you in the next one.